Welcome. This is going to be video number 6. We're going to talk about Boku no Hero Academia. So, let's start. So, the first season of Boku no Hero Academia. I gave it an 8, and the average score is a 7.91 from the community. Yeah, I think this is a very fair score. My opinion and the community seems to match. I do think it was a good first season. I'm going to look at all the other ones to see the fluctuations in the scores. Generally scores go up for the second and third season because people that don't like it stop watching after the first season. So you see a small increase, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Interestingly enough, the popularity is number 6. So this is actually above Naruto. I haven't done Naruto yet. So based on my anime list, there's more people interested in Boku no Hero than in Naruto and in One Piece. So it does have a large following. Let's look at season 2. Yeah, so as I guessed, the score went up a little bit. So I still gave it an 8, season 2, 8.14. It went up a little bit. That's generally what happens. Which is like, that's the same thing that happened with Attack on Titan. The first 2 seasons of Attack on Titan were a bit lower, and then starting in season 3, the scores kind of, they went up a lot. So probably because it got a lot more epic, I think, from season 3. Okay, so season 3 goes down a little bit, but still 8. So you see, there's very consistent. The scores in Boku no Hero are very consistent. So the quality is about the same. Now, I think I gave it a 7. Um, yeah, like okay. So I mean, this is probably a good time to talk about this. But so generally, the average score for anime tends to go up with every season because people, like I said, people that don't like it stop watching it. Me, I'm the other way around. If I watch an anime that's multiple seasons, at the beginning, I might think it's an amazing anime. But the problem is that over time, if the anime just keeps doing the same thing and rehashing the same ideas and it isn't being original, I'm going to start getting bored and I'll tend to drop scores. A lot of times, my score for the second or third season is an entire point lower than for the first season. That happens quite a bit. So for the third season, I gave it like a 7, probably because I was starting to get kind of bored and it didn't seem like it was being very original at this point, I guess. So I gave it a 7. I don't know why, but I don't remember. I mean, this was like, okay, this was a few years ago. So I mean, I gave it a 7. So do I think it's a rated? No, no. I mean, I still think the eight score is pretty fair, overall. But yeah, just talking about my own personal opinion, the scores will tend to drop with every season, which is strange, which is completely the opposite of what happens to the average score on my anime list. It's going to go up while as I start ranking more harshly with every extra season. So you have season 3. Now we have season 4. We also have the movies, but I won't bother with those. There's already enough to talk about. Season 4, I gave a 7. So season 4 drops a little bit, but it's still good. Like as you can see, it's pretty consistent. There's no significant drop in quality across seasons of Boku no Hero Academia. Season 5, I gave an 8 again. I guess I really liked season 5. I kind of forget what it was. So this was, oh wow, but this is weird. So I really liked season 5. I gave it an 8, but the community really didn't like it. They dropped it quite a bit to 7.41. I don't remember the reasons why, It's kind of a blur to me. I've watched a lot of stuff, but I guess people didn't like this season as much. I don't really remember why, but it could be that they had a lot of like slice of life episodes. Maybe that's why. Like they had an arc where they weren't fighting anybody. I mean, I don't know. That might be the reason. But apparently, the community really didn't like they didn't like season 5 as much. They dropped it a little bit. But yeah. So anyway, if I had to average it all out, across seasons, Boku no Hero has a fair score overall. Overall, Boku no Hero scores in the high sevens, low eights, which is about where I would put them. I think that's a fair score given the quality of the anime. It's not a masterpiece like Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood or Death Note or anything like or Attack on Titan, but it's still a top tier anime. It's not S tier like those I mentioned, but probably an A tier anime for sure. A or like maybe a B plus tier. So yeah, very very good. So yeah, I like Boku no Hero. Season 6 started. I haven't started watching season 6 yet, but I should at some point. What are the scores? 8.2. Yeah, so people are really liking it so far. We'll know. I mean, there's only been 4 episodes, but yeah. So wow, 6 seasons. So yeah, there's so much anime to watch. So have to get around to that at some point. But yeah, Boku no Hero, very first scores. So it's very unique concept. Lots of characters. There's a lot of characters. Like there's like 20. There's two. Just like Izuku's like class has like 20 people in it, and then you have another class, and you have a bunch of all these other people. So there's a lot of characters, a lot of different superpowers. Basically, it's like um, yeah, it's like the Japanese version of like X-Men or the Avengers, and All Might is basically like the Japanese version of Captain America. So it's like if you want to call him like Captain Japan, um, you know. But yeah, I just think it's a really interesting concept. It is very it's very unique, and it does stay interesting, and they keep a good quality. And every year they come out with a 26 episode season. And that's the brilliant. I think they're the model for how they're running the anime is very good. They don't stretch it out. They don't have the anime run the whole year to dilute the quality. That's what happened to Naruto and One Piece. I might make a video about that on some point, but basically these long running anime, they have diluted quality because they don't take breaks and they stretch things out and it gets boring. Boku no Hero doesn't do that. They stick to 26 episode seasons and they keep up a high quality. They take a good amount of the manga. So the manga, like the anime doesn't get ahead of the manga or anything like that. So I just think this is the best model is to just, if you're going to have a long running anime, it's best to probably just do 26 episode seasons once a year. So you run the anime for 6 months and then you take 6 months off. And I think that's probably the best way to run it. So anime quality is good, and I think just the how the company decided to release the anime, this is probably the best model for a long running anime. So anyway, that's it. I'll see you next time.